What's up, gang? Today I want to take a look at my Defender. I've had this cabinet, I think, about 10 years almost. When I got it, it wasn't even this nice. This has got the wrong bezel. That's Asteroids Deluxe, pretty beat marquee, no control panel. It was totally black, had been spray painted over. You can see, I forgot, you can't see, down here in the corner where I've worked on it and tried to see if there was art underneath it and if I could expose it. I tried several methods on this cabinet, and I actually put so much time and effort into it. I just don't have the heart to get rid of it after all this time. So let's just take a look and see what I did, what I didn't do, what I should have done, what I could have done, and what I did do right. So stick around, let's see.
I'm Walter Day, the father of esports, and you're watching Matty Mo's Arcade.
And you know how long it's been since I played Whack-A-Mole?
I'm getting ready to attack, fanny pack attached. Tokens are all stacked, got the mallet in my grasp. Waiting for the moles, hiding in their holes. Score, we're keeping tally, I'll be playing till they close now. Can't nobody beat my high score. You can't beat my high score. Can't nobody beat my high score. You can't beat my high score. I'm a mallet master, a single-fisted blaster. You can ask my baby, it starts slow then gets faster. I'm a record setter.
Now this is where I started. This is my first attempt. You can see where I was tearing it up pretty good. I put down some stripper, and I figured I'd just leave it on there for a few, and then I'd try to scratch it off with my pocket knife and see if I could get that first layer of black off, as it was just black spray paint, or maybe they rolled it. And my theory worked, only I waited too long, and as you can see, my knife just kind of cut straight down to the wood, and it actually in some spots snagged the wood, and I like cut down into it. But after that, I was able to kind of get myself figured out, and by the end of it, I was able to get most of the art, and it looks pretty good for a Survivor cab. You know, it's not by any means perfect, but it's decent. You can still see where I messed it up. A lot of the black is really bad messed up, but a lot of this cabinet, it has some water damage in spots. The black doesn't look good anyway. So my thoughts on what to do with this, since I spent so much time to get the original art out, I don't want to just sand it all down and start over. That would just be like a moot point and really make me aggravated. So what I decided to do is I wanted to at least sand down all the black and try to sand down around it. I don't know if you can see that there. There's a lot of scuff marks and stuff like here. And a lot of that was there already, but when I was trying to get these little guys out, which I think I still got to do a lot of these on the other side, I ate into the black pretty good. But what I'm thinking is sand down all of the black and make it just a smooth glass finish again and repaint that black. And then I want to touch up the red and the yellow of the original art, but leave it kind of weathered like this. So you can see there's like cracks in the wood and stuff. So I think I'm not even showing you. Here's what I was saying. The cracks in the wood, like right in here in this E. So if you come over and you paint, you know, put a new coat of paint over this, as long as you don't coat it real thick, you just kind of do it light, all of this texture should still be there. And I think it would look really, really neat with it all pristine everywhere else except for the original side art. I don't know that it's gonna look that good, but I'm willing to try it out since this cabinet was just a beater cab, and basically the only reason I've saved it all this time was just to play with this art and see what I could do with it. So stick around for a second, let's get her set up, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do on the next step. Ta-da! Here's what I wasted an evening on one night. Luckily the tape is all still on there pretty good. So I have the red taped off. It's not perfect. Like there's some spots in here where the black is showing. I'm not sure if how exact I'm gonna get this because it's all kind of different on both, because I think they were just airbrushed basically or sprayed, and they're what do you call it? The stencil would sometimes lift up, and like on this one you can see the red comes all the way up through Defender and up and past there into the black. And on the other side it cuts off like right here where you normally see Defender. So I don't think it's really gonna be that big of a deal if I'm a little off on the smoke or whatever this is on it. But I am gonna lay down some extra tape and try to get it as close as possible. But this is all the red is taped off and sealed, where if I just go over the red will be new. I did do a little test spot down here, and it's also not great because I had a bad brush. But right in here, in this area, I put some I had some model paint, the Testors model paints. Here we go. 1 second. I'm trying not to talk too quiet. I used, let's see, the color is Stoplight Red, I think. Let's see. No, Engine Red. I think that's the one I used. One of them was metallic, and that wasn't going to work. But you can see kind of in this top area here, I got it on a little too thick there. What I'm looking for is to have this wood kind of show this weathered look through it, but I want it to pop. I want it to have the fresh coat of paint look. The yellow I may not do it. The yellow, I don't like that spot there. I might do that one, but the rest of the yellow on the whole cabinet, even that I think I'm kind of okay with on the very bottom. Looks pretty good yellow wise, and I think it would help sell the aged look of the art. But we can touch up maybe in the Defender area, in the spots where people's eyes are really gonna look. But for the most part, I think the yellow looks pretty good. Just that red that they used at that time, it just wasn't, I don't know, it's kind of a dull red. And it probably is supposed to be a dull red, but I don't want it to be. So, nah, it's my cabinet. But I worked all this time to bring this art back. I'm gonna make it pop a little bit. But I'm trying to sell the fact that it's old art, and this is gonna hopefully look new. Now let's go ahead and look at what the cabinet up here looks like up close. You can see the ridges and stuff in it. And I don't know that we can ever get this to look really, really good, but I think the drastic difference of the two will take away from any negative aspects of the cab. And then, yeah, I think it'll be pretty neat. But right now, what I'm gonna do is start on this spot up here and go over here on the red, and then we'll take a look at what that looks like, and then alter our plan, kind of like I did when I was taking the art off. But if you're curious on how I did get it back down to the art, is I took that citrus strip, the kind that you spread on, and I spread it on like an area about, just make sure you can see here, spread it on an area about this big, you know, maybe like a catcher's mitt or like a small pizza or something like that. And then I let it sit for not even 10 minutes. I mean, maybe it was 5 minutes. It wasn't very long, and I was impatient anyway. And several times I put it on there and I took it off, and it didn't do anything because I did it too quick. But yeah, I just set it on there, and it wasn't very thick. And then as soon as I thought that it was starting to bubble or whatever it is that it does to that, I was scraping it off with a scraper knife and a pocket knife for a little while. and it was coming off and leaving the art on there. What I did do after I gouged it several times was I actually I got it where most of the black spray paint was off, but there was a lot on there, kind of like where you can see here. This is where I've actually gone through the yellow into the black on the back. But when I was getting it off, there would be a lot of black still on this, but you could see through it. And then I had the cabinet on its side. I would spray all of this area that I was going to work on next with Goo Gone and let that Goo Gone sit on there for 45 minutes or an hour. And I would have it sitting there while I was working on another spot. And that actually loosened it up just a little bit, just enough to get that last little stuff. And that's how the other side looks really, really well. Because I started on the bottom, screwed it up, came over here, kind of figured it out as I went through this side. And then the other side, I finished it up and I think looks the best, the top part on the other side. But next, I'm going to go over this red and we'll take a look at that. And then we'll kind of make a decision and go from there. We're definitely going to have to sand that black down. The front of this cabinet here is like waterlogged. I don't know if I'm going to put a new piece of wood there or if maybe we can sand it out and it'll be fine and look okay. There's not any art on there, right? I think it's just around the coin door. We got to get that silver pinball coin door from Kincaid throw on here. No, I wouldn't do that to them. But anyway, stick around and let's try to make this hunk of junk look good. And here's what we look like after one coat. As you can see, I'm having trouble staying in the lines. And hopefully that tape holds. I'm going to go ahead and, since it's already taped up, I'm just going to go ahead and do a second coat because it'd take a whole lot longer to tape it all back up again if I don't like it. But as you can see, let me get somewhere where we can, all right, this will work here. The texture of the paint underneath is obvious. I mean, you can see the wood very easily. So I think if it was all smooth where this black is right here, and this looked all aged in here, I just think it would look kind of sharp. It would look like a Survivor cab for real. But hopefully, I'm going to go ahead, like I said, and put one more coat on, and then we're going to go ahead and take the tape off whenever it dries. And hopefully it's like one of those videos where it's like the most satisfying thing, because hopefully I taped this up right. And when we peel this off, it just looks, the red looks exquisite. So let's see. I ordered some yellow paint. I wasn't going to do it, but I think I am. And hopefully it turns out. But we'll be right back and we'll find out. 24 hours later and 2 coats. And I'm hoping that it looks pretty good. My other little project that I'm working on, the paint is turning out really well over here. That's just going to be a platform that'll latch onto the top of my boxes so I'll have like a work surface and stuff. But it's looking pretty good. So I'm hoping this will too. You can see where I'm pretty sloppy on there. But the only thing I noticed that I did screw up on is I used my pocket knife. I had a brand new pocket knife with a really good sharp blade on it. And I should have kept using the craft knife or X-Acto knife. I should have kept using this. The wood is a little soft, and some of the times when I was tracing it, I don't know if I just had a heavy hand or if the blade just cut into it, but went pretty deep into the soft wood. But let's have that moment of truth, and hopefully we'll have the that satisfying video that I'm looking for. All right, let's just do some of these. I don't want to do all of this on camera. I think that'd probably just take way too long. Let's just do some of the satisfying parts and do the Defender at least. Hopefully it looks okay. Now granted, the red is going to be painted really well, and the yellow should still look old and original as of now. But maybe that might be like a really cool contrast. Maybe I want to leave it like that. Everything's kind of up in the air with this at the moment. I'm just seeing what I like and trying different things. Meow. Kitty. But yeah, I'm just, since I have one that's beat up and I didn't expect to really even be able to save this art at all, I could experiment on this one and then we'll see how it looks. Maybe somebody else has already tried this and it was a horrible idea. It looks okay so far. Gouged the wood all up trying to get the tape off. There we go. Like I was saying, it looks like the stencil at the factory came off for them, or not for them, but on them when they were doing this originally, because normally the red only comes up about halfway, I believe. Maybe it's just different on both sides and I'm only used to seeing it on one. It's not too bad. Some little pieces. This is going to be tedious, and some of these spots down here. So what I try to do is I try to turn my knife around backwards so I'm not gouging into the wood, and then just kind of get a hold of it and drag it across. Usually it's a little easier than this, but I think because this wood is aged like that, it's almost ribbed for your pleasure. I think it's kind of grabbing a hold of the knife a little bit more than normal. There we go. Start to see what this looks like now. The red definitely pops more, and you could definitely still see the texture, so I'm happy with that part so far. Really, this is just going to come down to my tape job. If I did a good job taping this, then it should look great, and if I didn't, then we will have to touch it up or do something different. So far, that's looking pretty good there. I don't know how satisfying it is for you guys to watch, but I'm enjoying that. That looks pretty good. Oops. Yeah, you can definitely see the texture of the wood. I was pictured like that, but then the black just being smooth as a baby's butt, if they are smooth. I think that'll be a major contrast. I don't know that it'll look as great as I think it will as the major contrast, but it'll definitely be a major contrast. I just want it to look good enough to make the cab, and then we'll see with a complete game. I bet it looks amazing. It still kind of gives a little bit more honor to the original cab and the original art than a slapping some vinyl on it right afterwards. But I wouldn't expect anybody to do this. Takes forever for. Really, the only reason is just to be a purist. Unless it looks as good as I'm hoping. It might even look good without even doing the yellow. Give it even more contrast. you want to come in here, kitty? You want to be on YouTube? I guess they're playing with each other or something in there. Alright. See, this could get into a real long video real fast. I think I might still do the yellow because I wanted to really have some good color. It's pretty good. The other side is way, way better than this. I may not have to do this on the other side. No, wrong way. I'm definitely going to sand the black down as it's just awful. This cab has seen better days. But at least somebody's showing it some love. It's been sitting in storage since I've owned it for at least 5 years. I'm liking it. Let's try one of these. Just enough for my fat finger, come on. Oh yeah, that's nice. Me likey. It is destroyed underneath there. But the next time, if we do the yellow, the next time it'll be reverse. Let me pulling that red off and yeah, I like that. I do kind of like it all beat up. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if there's anybody even still watching. If you think I should leave this yellow as it is and leave it really weathered, or if we should paint the yellow. It'll look more finished, but it is kind of neat showing it is a survivor cab too. Come on, get out of there. I'll get the Defender part pulled off so that we can look at it for a minute. And then I'll go ahead and remove the rest off camera and we'll come back and take a look. I definitely like it. I felt so bad whenever I was taking the paint off every time I would notice that I'd scarred into it or something, and it's like there wasn't much I could do. It was really hard to get it off there anyway. I don't know that anybody else will ever take that much time unless it's just like their grail game or something. It was definitely a labor of love, and I don't have that much love for Defender, honestly. I played it a lot on the 2600, but this control panel was not a favorite one of mine. A little bleed there. I have a mess to clean up. With these cabinets, they weigh, I think, about as much as an Arcade 1-Up cabinet. They're really light. Once you get the monitor out of them, of course. But they're great for JAMA cabs if you don't have one, and they're pretty easy to find. Things, how many Defenders did they make, you know? And then after a while, most of them got converted. Almost everything did at a certain point. think at one point me and Mike had like 5 in his garage. Or we had this one, and then we had like 4 others that were already been converted to other games that no longer were anything near Defender. And it's probably just goes to show how nice it is to have that nice light cabinet. When you're moving games all day long, I probably prefer to have all Defender cabs than, say, Golden Tees or and Konami Turtles. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good, even beat up. Might be because I'm got it right in my face, but so pretty. It makes that yellow really pop compared to what it looked like before. The red was almost like I wouldn't say brick red. It was a little bit brighter than a brick red, but it was dark, almost like a burgundy like that. And the one that the color I put on there is basically the fire engine red. Was way redder than I wanted it to, but I figured with you having the background of that burgundy like that and putting this over it, it would probably mix and make something that was closer to original than what I was starting with in the paint can. And that's what it looks like it did. Between that and the black background. Almost done with the Defender part, and we'll take a look. I'm pretty happy with it though. The epic fail I was expecting didn't happen. Didn't bleed all through and ruin the yellow. But the epic fail was my pocket knife all into the side of the cabinet. Should have been way more careful. I think I was watching TV or something while I was doing this. There we go. Which that's what I'm gonna do after we get done here. I'm gonna turn the TV back on and take the rest of this off. All right, so what do you guys think? Should I have left the red alone? Or do you think it looks all right? I think it looks better. The yellow is definitely beat. But I'll take this off and then we'll kind of see what it looks like as an overview. Because it still looks like, crazy drunk lady smeared her lipstick all over herself. But give me a minute here and I'll pull this off and we'll take another look. And hopefully it's good. Now just pretend it all looks like his legs and kind of like up in here in his body, but you can kind of see what I'm going for, where this yellow is nice and full. It looks really good on his legs. That's what I want it to look like. And then where you can see in the light here, all this texture in the black, I want that to be nice and smooth and brand new looking again. So, but I do like the way it looks. Get a little bit closer look if we can. My light's starting to die, I think, is the problem. But yeah, I'm liking the red and the yellow together like that. It looks pretty good. So I think that's gonna be a winner for an idea for this anyway. And then as long as I can get in there with some little teeny tiny sandpaper and stuff and get the black and get it smooth, I think it'll look real sharp. There's some Bondo work needs to be done, kind of on the bottom and around on the back a little bit. It's really not that bad. The cabinet's in fairly decent shape. Now I don't know, pardon the mess, how I'm gonna get this off of here. I guess I'm just gonna have to do it the same way. You can see where I started to get it off, but it was taking a long time compared to the sides. So that's the next thing. But I think I'm gonna just go ahead and finish out this side. And ow. I think I'm gonna go ahead and finish out this side and just do the black and sand it down as much as I can and see what that looks like, and hopefully that will be cool. But yeah, I do like the red. The red is popping. Now I just got to get the yellow to look like that. I guess I'm gonna paint the yellow first, and then before I sand, because I can always sand the yellow off if I overspray it or overbrush it, whatever. But I'm gonna say good enough. A weird angle on my thumb made it look like a little teeny tiny thumb. But thanks for watching. We'll get on the next one here pretty soon, and get this yellow tackled. I have some yellow paint on the way, so. And then stay tuned if you want to see the little DeWalt shelf. It's outside. The black is drying, and hopefully that looks good too. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. So these two right here are going to be ground and 5 volt. So what do we get here? Did I not turn the game on? I didn't turn the game on. I guess that would help. Hang on.
Here it is. A nice little trade. The person I traded got what they wanted. I got what I wanted. And a pretty good deal on it too. Super hang on.
Get what I want.
That comes later.
Yeah.
Okay. It's on fire.
Whoa.
Lots of smoke.
Well, that's bad.
Yep. Well, thanks for watching.